Go to Barnes & Noble and pull us off the rack, or go to the App Store on your iPhone or Android and download the Hemmings Marketplace app.
I'm wondering if you would do me one favor. Would you come back on right before Christmas and talk about it again? Just for a Christmas thing. I think it'd be really good to maybe do some stocking stuffers for that. So maybe in about 3 weeks, would you mind coming back on?
It would be my pleasure. I would love to come back.
I will set that up with our good friend Blair Hefty, and we will get you back on, because I think that would be some great Christmas gifts, courtesy of Hemmings. What do you think?
That sounds wonderful.
All right. That would be great. That was Jonathan Shaw. Jonathan, thanks for joining us today. I think it was really great.
Thanks, Mike. I appreciate the opportunity.
All right, folks, that was Jonathan Shaw. He's from Hemmings, and you really need to go check out Hemmings' website at Hemmings Motor News. You're going to love it. All right, folks, hang on. We've got more to come right here from Let's Talk Wheels. Be right back.
You're going on a trip, but where are you going to stay? How much will it cost? Well, it'll cost less by booking on besthotelrates.com. BestHotelRates.com works with all the top hotels in the country while delivering you great hotel and room choices for the best prices. Why wait? Go to BestHotelRates.com, enter your email address, and start shopping for your next hotel room. BestHotelRates.com, it's in the name. BestHotelRates.com.
At Ulta Beauty's Black Friday sale, I get up to 50% off all week long on over 500 can't-miss deals. Starting November 19th, shop 40% off stunning Morphe eyeshadow palettes and 50% off select Tula skincare products. Plus, starting Tuesday, shop $12 mascaras from brands like Tarte, Benefit, and Fenty, and $12 lippies from brands like Lancome and Kylie Cosmetics. Hurry in store or place your online pickup order today. Ulta Beauty, the possibilities are beautiful.
Wake up call. The verdict's out on Josh McDaniels, right? He should never be a head coach again in the NFL. 2 times he couldn't make it past year 2. Maybe he'll go crawling back to New England, but no more of this hiring Patriot people. Look, let's all admit this. Everybody got rich because Tom Brady was good at his job. Tom Brady was outstanding at playing quarterback, and he made a lot of people a lot of money because of it. Just by being in his presence, you were elevated in your skill and talent that you did not deserve. Anybody that touched Tom Brady's garments were elevated to positions of prominence in a league, and every one of them failed. Players who caught passes from Tom Brady disappeared once they left him. Coaches forgot how to coach once they left him. This is one of the biggest scams I've ever seen in sports.
Wake Up Call with Tony V and Ron Colbert. Weekdays from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern.
Wake up call. You guys want to kick field goals all game? Is that what the league is coming down to now? You know how many box scores I look at where I see a kicker kick 4 field goals in a game now? It happens all the time.
The offense seems to be able to move the ball in their first 50 pretty easily.
Exactly.
Once they get past the 50, everything gets stalled. But now you have kickers where it's like, oh, let's go for the 50-plus yard field goal. He's consistent.
At this rate, kickers are going to start making $20 million a year.
It's a kicker's league, Tony.
Wake Up Call with Tony V and Ron Colbert. Weekdays from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern.
Sports Map tonight with Luke Morrow.
Doc Rivers, quote-unquote, hired Dennis Rodman to come babysit his kids when they were both teammates in San Antonio in the mid-'90s. What athlete would be the worst or best babysitter of all time, any sort? Like, obviously, I think you say Tim Tebow would be a great babysitter. But if I needed a babysitter in a pinch and I had to choose an athlete.
I'm with you on Tim Tebow for a great babysitter. I know probably who the worst would probably be.
Who would you say?
I'm definitely thinking Antonio Brown.
Absolutely.
I feel like Russ might be the most boring babysitter.
Oh, you know, that's another good one, too. Speaking of phony.
He'll come with all the cliches.
Yes, he would drive you nuts. He'd probably do a good job, like from the parents' perspective. He'll make sure the kids are okay. But yeah, the kids probably would not like it. They'd be, putting things in his shoes and stuff.
He'd be like the substitute teacher that nobody likes.
Exactly. Be throwing things at him when he turns around, sticking signs on his back.
Super responsible, though.
Oh, he'd be a great babysitter, but the kids just wouldn't like it.
Sports Map tonight, weeknights from 10 to 1 Eastern. College football is in full swing, and the American Heart Association's Paul Bear Bryant Awards campaign has begun. The campaign honors the legendary Alabama football coach who died of a heart attack just 28 days after his final victory in the Liberty Bowl. What better way for Coach Bryant's legacy to live on than by recognizing other remarkable college football coaches? Go to BryantAwards.org, then click on Fan Vote, then cast your vote for your favorite college football coach. Who are you rooting for? That's BryantAwards.org.
You're listening to the Let's Talk Wheels radio network. Here's Jeremy Birnbaum and Mike Herzing.
All right, welcome back. Let's talk wheels. All right, folks. Jeremy, let's do a little classic car stuff and collector car stuff. And you and I were just talking off the air and about valuing stuff. I was just looking at, I get these things on Facebook Marketplace and things like that. And we were talking about valuing cars. And I look at stuff and I'm looking at vehicles. We talk all the time about this stuff. And these people put this stuff up there and they don't even wash the vehicles off. And I'm looking at these vehicles and they're got, old trash on the floor and they don't even wipe the things down. They don't clean them up and they're wanting stupid amounts of money for it. I'm like, are you kidding me? You don't even, they're little mini bikes or motorcycles. And I'm like, they don't even wash the things off. They don't wipe it off. It's filthy. And you want $8,000 for this bike. I was like, it's not worth half of that. Where do these people get their value? And these are the idiots.
Honestly,
I'll put, I know what I've got, firm. I'm like, you're crazy. Jeremy, how do you value stuff? I mean, people call you all the time wanting to sell stuff for unrealistic prices. How do you talk them off the ledge?
Yeah. There's a lot of that going on in the market, and that's a lot of misinformation, right? Someone sees a car that is similar to theirs, or it might be exactly the same, but one is in, A+ condition and theirs is in C or D condition. And they don't realize that. They think that, well, I got the car, so it should be worth a lot. And you hear these stories of barn finds all the time, and people think, oh, I might have a barn find too. And a lot of times it doesn't apply. Those are anomalies, and they are stories that we all want to find of our own in the car world because they're so hard to find. So let's exclude those a little bit, and let's talk about just the average car that someone is trying to sell. They don't know what value it's worth. There are a couple ways you can go about getting a value for a car. You can have someone come out and appraise it. Most of the time, they're going to appraise it a little bit higher than what the car is actually worth because you're paying them to do it. And the other reason is because most of the time it's done for insurance purposes. And the cost to replace a car is a lot higher than the value of a car, right? For me to go out and build one exactly like this one I'm pointing at right now is different than if I'm just going out and buying a 65 Mustang. There are a bunch of different websites online that'll help you do value. Classic.com will help you. Hemmings, Haggerty. There are a wealth of information of places to go look. And I use all of them at the same time. If I'm trying to comp a car out, I'm going to try and find as many sales as possible for that particular vehicle. And I'm going to exclude some outliers that just seem to be way out there. There are a lot of times at an auction that two people start bidding on a car and it becomes, a pissing match. And the value of that car does not speak to the average cars. It's two guys that, one guy really wanted to have it and they're just going at it. So sometimes I'm going to exclude that number. I'm going to try and find as close or similar to car as possible. I'm not comping, say, a 66 Mustang, for instance. I'm not comping a straight six car with a 289 car because they have the same body. That's not the same car. It's a totally different car. So if I have a 289 car for sale, I'm only going to comp it with other 289 cars. Now, some might have a manual transmission, some might have an automatic, and that's going to go into my comp as a plus or minus. And I'm going to try and find 10 cars and then find where my car sits within those 10 cars. You're going to have some high in the 40s and 50s. They'll probably be fastbacks, and you'll have some on the lower side that are going to be in the 20s, and those are probably going to be coupes. Where does mine sit? How does the interior compare? Was there a restoration done? Do they have information on the restoration? All those things add to the value of a car. And when you have a question mark, when you don't know what's inside the motor, you don't know what the transmission is, those are negatives, and that takes away from your vehicle. The way you're able to represent your vehicle really helps you get top dollar for the vehicle. Mike and I were talking about titles. That's another thing that people don't think about. They say, oh, I got a 66 289 fastback Mustang. It's worth $50,000, but I don't have the title. Well, if you don't have the title on a car, that's a huge risk to a buyer. And selling it on a bill of sale, now all of a sudden I got to get a bonded title to purchase this car. And what that means, if someone comes and says, hey, that's my car, it was stolen, the title company will basically pay you for the loss of the car. But that's unfortunate. That's not something you want to deal with. And so I'm going to make the seller take less money because of that, a hit.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen that. I mean, people go, I was looking at a 47 Willis Jeep, and the guy goes, I want, like 3850, and but the motor was running, but it's been sitting and it's kind of frozen up. Okay, fine. Body's in great shape. Well, but I sell it with a bill of sale. Well, if I go and fix the motor and do everything else, and I go to take it to the state of Texas, and they say, well, let's look at the VIN number. Oh, by the way, that VIN number stolen 10 years ago. Oh, well, good. This guy's had it on his farm. Well, I have to go back out for state of Texas will take it and give it to whoever said it was stolen. And I'm out. I've got to go find the person that I bought it from and then try to get my money back from him if he's still around. So basically you've got a huge exposure here.
You do. You take a big exposure. One tip I will give out when I'm purchasing a car, I will photocopy my driver's license. I'll black out my address, of course, but I will photocopy my driver's license and I give it to the person that's buying my car. And I ask them for a copy of their driver's license in return. For the most part, that goes in a file and I never look at it again. But that's giving me a second step of insurance, in this process. And, I hate to say that are people that they're out there to scam you and do nefarious things. But sadly, that's what is in the world. And you want to make sure that when you're buying a car, you do your best due diligence to make sure you get the best one. And the best one doesn't always mean the deal. It means the cleanest deal, the easiest deal.
Yeah, I know. It's especially with motorcycles and things like that, dune buggies. And when you get something that's that old, maybe they got it from their grandfather. Maybe somebody moved in. I had somebody that bought a house and this vehicle was in their house. And they said, well, I bought the house. And the realtor goes, well, it comes with the vehicle. You get it. It's just been in the barn for 20 years. Oh, okay, cool. Well, come to find out it was a stolen vehicle 20 years ago, and that's kind of stuff.
Yeah. Or knock, knock, knock. Here comes the grandson after you got the vehicle running, new tires, whatever, and says, hey, I have a title. That's my car. And it is. There's nothing you can do about it. You want to do the best due diligence you can. And just like in researching these values for a car, you're spending your hard-earned money. You want to make sure you do the most work possible. And nowadays with the internet and cars being all over the country for the most part, and so easy to ship and talk to people and send pictures and whatnot, you just want to make sure it is exactly what it is.
Yeah, VIN numbers can make such a difference. I mean, just because you have a 65 Chevelle is not going to be the same as the 65 Chevelle that sold at Mecum for $50,000. Yours may be $20,000. It just depends on if it's equipped exactly the same as that one. You know what I mean? It's a huge difference.
The more you comp cars, the more you start seeing, a company like Barrett Jackson is going to be about 5 to 10% higher than what some of the auction websites are. And then you learn that the prices that they're showing is with the commission that they make. So you have to figure all that in when you're comping these cars. Is it the price it's sold for? Is it the price it's sold for plus the juice from the auction? There are a lot of things that go into that final number, and you just want to make sure you're comparing apples to apples, not apples to oranges. Otherwise, a deal might seem like a good deal when really it's not.
And sometimes they seem like they sell for that, but then at the end, the sale falls through. You don't always know that. It sounds good on television too, but either way, check out, be sure to just do your due diligence and don't get all excited. It's never as good as you think, and it's never as bad as you think. How's that?
Sandrock Concrete specializes in all types of concrete, driveways, sidewalks, basements, and garages. We also do stamped colored concrete in many different designs. We do interior and exterior stonework, regular brick and block work. Sandrock Concrete is fully insured. Call Jerry Sandrock at 330-506-0013 for an estimate. Also find them on Facebook at Sandrock Concrete LLC. Sandrock Concrete, where you deal with the owner all the time.
Question: When you walk into the boardrooms of the most successful companies here in Ohio, who do you meet? Answer: men and women who play high school sports. Education-based high school sports give us more than athletes we can root for. They give us leaders we can depend on. Question: so where will we find tomorrow's leaders? Answer: high school sports.
This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association and the Ohio Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
You're listening to Western Reserve Radio at westernreserveradio.com on the Live 365 network and the Live 365 app.
So listen to us, and we truly appreciate it. We hope you do it again. Have a great weekend, folks.
You're going on a trip, but where are you going to stay? How much will it cost? Well, it'll cost less by booking on besthotelrates.com. BestHotelRates.com works with all the top hotels in the country while delivering you great hotel and room choices for the best prices. Why wait? Go to BestHotelRates.com, enter your email address, and start shopping for your next hotel room. BestHotelRates.com, it's in the name. BestHotelRates.com.
This Thanksgiving at Total Wine & More, find Pinot Noirs and Cabernets that you adore. Our helpful guides are so friendly and nice. So many bottles to try at the lowest price. So gather with friends as you sit down to eat. Grateful for all who made Thanksgiving complete.
With the lowest prices for over 30 years, you'll always find what you love and love what you find. Only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Did you know you can go to a trade school college that has you learning as an apprentice in a real radio station, culinary kitchen, film studio, or in a recording studio? Stay out of debt and out of a boring college classroom and learn on the job in the real world. The Radio Connection puts you in a real radio station. The Recording Connection trains you in a real recording studio. The Film Connection has you learning under a real filmmaker. And CASA has you learning one-on-one in a real restaurant. It's your life. Amplify it now and learn as an apprentice in a unique way to get a career as a broadcaster, podcaster, chef, music producer, or filmmaker. Just visit one of our sites, radioconnection.com, recordingconnection.com, filmconnection.com, or casaschools.com. Or call 1-865-413-5724. That's 1-865-413-5724.
Wake up call. John Rahm. He wishes that there would be porta potties at each of the holes.
Why aren't there? Let's just have a frank conversation about this. When you really have to go to the bathroom and there's no bathroom and the body goes, we're going without you.
We look at those trees and go, restroom.
Exactly. Like a dog to a fire hydrant.
Wake up call with Tony D and Ron Colbert. Weekdays from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern.
Wake up call.
Polar Express would definitely be a lot more interesting.
Exactly. What's more interesting, that game or that kid on that train that was like, Montezuma, the king of the Aztecs, used to drink 20 quarts of hot chocolate every single day. Used to put in chili powder. Get it? Hot chocolate?
One of the things I always loved, and I would love to try to do this, is go down that slide.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome.
Like a toilet bowl that dropped you into the bag of toys.
Yeah, that looked fun.
And to hear that little girl sing the song when the northern lights appear.
Exactly, right?
That's a heart-touching moment.
The essence of Polar Express.
The elves all look like little gangster alcoholics.
They don't look cute. Those elves look kind of
especially when he's like
worn out.
Trust me.
Yeah. Trust me.
Like, I don't know if I kind of scary. You're more troll-like than a cherub little elf.
Billy, the poor kid from the other side of the track.
Other side of the track.
You drop him off.
Doesn't even have like a full PJ set. Just wears dad's shirt.
Wake up call with Tony D and Ron Colbert. Weekdays from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern.
The diehards.
And then all of a sudden, a sweeper pitch from this. What's a sweeper? And I looked at her and I went, I don't know. Hey Siri, what's a sweeper pitch? Like what is going on? Like I felt like I was lost, and I'm like, I cover sports, I know this. And again, I'm a knucklehead fan on the radio, but I'm like, what is this? And then I'm seeing slurve, and I'm going, what? Like, am I gone?
The Diehards, weeknights from 8 to 10 Eastern on the Sports Map Radio Network.
Hi, it's Mark Means, host of By All Means, Tuesdays at 5, right here on Western Reserve Radio, WRDB, The Scourge.
If you love history, head over to YouTube and check out Blogging Through History. Hosted by Mineral Ridge High School graduate Chris Mowery, Blogging Through History visits historic sites to explore not only the well-known figures and events of the past, but also compelling stories that maybe you've never heard before. Chris would also like to wish his niece Amira Emsch and the Mineral Ridge Rams the best of luck for a successful 2023 season. Catch all of the spring and summer action of Cleveland Cobras minor league football on Western Reserve Radio. Follow the Cobras as they compete against teams from around the region in pursuit of a Tri-Point Football League championship. And if you're looking to continue your football career after high school, college, or even the pros, or to be part of the Cobras staff, go to Facebook at Cleveland Cobras Football. Or contact owner Jesse Caldwell at 330-416-3442. Be a part of the excitement of Cleveland Cobras football.
Mill Creek Golf Course is the Valley's leader for golfing fun with a practice range, short game area, and hole 55 bar and grill all on site. Mill Creek Golf Course features a friendly PGA professional staff available for instruction, along with 36 challenging holes designed by the legendary Donald Ross. Don't forget family fun night golf on Fridays and Saturdays for just $25. For details and tee times, call 330-740-7112 or go online to millcreekmetroparks.org.
Lena's Pierogi House is your home for the area's best variety of pierogies. Daily specials include the Polish platter, the Hungarian platter, stuffed cabbage, and halushki. Having a last-minute get-together? Lena's has you covered with a wide variety of frozen take-home pierogies and dumplings. Go to Facebook at Lena's Pierogi House to see the weekly lineup of available flavors for dine-in or carry-out. Catch the best at Lena's Monday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Tuesday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. 20 North Main Street in Hubbard, or call 234-254-8532.
It's time to kick back and listen to the sports page with your host, Pat Lucia, right here on Western Reserve Radio. You can call the show at 330-707-4202 and tell everyone what's on your mind in the wonderful world of sports. Now, here's your host, Pat Lucia.
Saturday morning sports page, Pat Lucia, Dave Clark, 330-707-4202. The station is the Western Reserve. It's Western Reserve Radio. Have a little bit of a brain freeze early in the morning. Get that second cup of coffee in me, Dave Clark. And has the NFL quarterback situation turned into the MASH unit? That's the question of the day. Get to the college game. Obviously, a lot going on with college football. Jim Harbaugh will not be coaching. He has decided to not sue the Big Ten and contest the 3-game, now 2-game suspension, Maryland and Ohio State. So that's now kind of in our rearview mirror. You don't have to really talk about that anymore. Question's obviously going to be if Michigan beats Ohio State, you figure they'll beat Maryland today. And ultimately, will they play the Big Ten championship, which would be Iowa? And then if they obviously win out, there'll be a Final Four contending team. And we'll see what they can do in the Final Four if they do get there. But they do have Maryland today. Really not, I don't think, really, nobody really giving Maryland much of a chance after what Michigan did last week against Penn State. Penn State just basically showed us that they are pretty much the third best team in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Clearly. But sliding back to the NFL and the MASH unit now called the quarterback position. Joe Burrow now is gone for the season. Those that were not aware of that Thursday night game, it was a ligament in the wrist and will require, I believe they say will require surgery. So he will be out. Now that puts that list together of quarterbacks, starting quarterbacks that are gone, or is now at 7.
Right.
Amazing. Obviously earlier in the week, it came out that Deshaun Watson had a broken bone in his shoulder and high ankle sprain on top of that.
Right.
So he will now be gone for the season. And that broken bone had nothing to do with the other shoulder injury that he had. It was totally different.
Yeah.
So he's gone for the season. Kirk Cousins is gone for the season, obviously. Aaron Rodgers was the other quarterback gone for the season. Just the list is kind of almost bizarre because you think about the position of quarterback, and I just can't get over. Not only are they're just not injured, they're gone for the season. Other quarterbacks, we said Deshaun Watson, Aaron Rodgers, Kirk Cousins, Richardson for Indianapolis was gone very early. Jimmy Garoppolo is gone for the season, and now Daniel Jones for the Giants tore his ACL in a non-contact. I believe it was practice.
Did they get Garoppolo out? I didn't know.
I didn't know,
he was
but
on the sidelines not last week, the week before.
Right, but
So I don't
he's not going to be playing this year. Now I don't know if he's out because of injury or he's out.
He had that concussion.
He
and then
had that
an injury, too.
concussion, and didn't he have? I don't know if he had a foot or leg to go with it.
Yeah, something happened with it, but
limping
I see him
around.
still able to. They got him dressed, so I don't know if they got him on IR.
Maybe he's not. Maybe Garoppolo.
Yeah, I
That
don't know
would
if
put
he's
the
on
number at 6, not 7. But I don't think Jimmy Garoppolo's playing this year at all.
For the rest, I mean, it had to be emergency if he's going to be dressed. That's the only way,
right?
Something would have to happen to Aiden O'Connell for him
For
to
him
go
to
back.
get
'Cause I don't
back
think
in.
they'll go back to Hoyer. I don't think they'll do that. That's a lot of quarterbacks.
On the other flip side of it, Justin Fields will be ready to go today over the Detroit Lions. So Fields gets to go. He will play. So at least that's one other thing. But I guess your other question is in the NFL, with all the injured quarterbacks that you have, the Browns in the playoff hunt, can they remain in the playoff hunt? What's his name?
Dorian. Yeah, he's
Dorian Thompson
DTR.
Robinson, right? He will play. He's getting the start. So Walker will not start, but he will play. Robinson will go ahead and play. So bottom line is the Browns are going to go with the rookie quarterback as the a starter. So we'll see how that works out. They have a big game this week in Pittsburgh.
Right.
Or no, Pittsburgh's in Cleveland. So obviously the Browns in the playoff hunt. The Browns will, I think you're going to need in the AFC, you're going to need 10 wins, I think, to get in the playoffs as a wild card. I think you're going to need, I don't think a 9-8 record's going to make it in the AFC.
Yeah, I wonder. I just looked at the remaining schedule, like the teams got some good records, but the remaining schedule of some of our top teams, they're playing the other top teams finally.
Right.
So they might beat up on each other, and 9 might make it, but you would think 10 would be the threshold. But I just think they may beat up on each other down the stretch and see what happens. I thought that was a good move, and some people, they putting DTR back in, but I think that's a good move. You drafted him. Yeah, he played terrible against the Ravens, but if people remember,
he was just
but that whole week though, Deshaun was talking about he was playing, and then 2-3 days before that game, they made him the starter because they finally said he can't go. So that's thrusting a lot on a guy. Now he knows he was the starter. He's the whole week. You get in there and see what you got, and then I think if things don't look good in this game, they already seen PJ Walker for 2 games. I think they'll go to something that we probably did. They can't trade.
No.
But it's people on the waiver wire. There's people that it's so many things that's going on, rumors and stuff that's going on as far as getting a quarterback. They may try to go somewhere and do that.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting because I think wasn't Flacco being interviewed?
Yep.
Oh yeah, because that was because RG3 came out and he's willing to sign up with the Browns. He says he could do it. Sign me up. I'll be there. I could start for you. I'll even help, or I'll help mentor the young quarterback Robinson Dorian Thompson-Robinson. I'll mentor him,
Mhm.
or I'll even start. It could still play. And then I think the Browns have talked to Flacco.
Mhm.
I don't know if RG3 is going to get his wish to get in a Cleveland uniform. He seems like he wants to get back in. So we'll see how that all plays out.
Right.
If they go a different direction. I think the Bengals are done officially.
Yeah.
I don't think the Bengals are making the playoffs. They were teetering on
Anyway.
the brink. They needed to win the Thursday night game. Had Burrow been healthy, you think they had a shot of winning that game. But once Burrow went out with the injury, you knew it was over.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't, I thought it was going to be a close game. And I said, but the Ravens being at home, I said, I'm going to take the Bengals. And that was a 3.5 or 4 points.
Yep.
Because I figured they'll win by a Justin Tucker field goal.
That's what I thought.
But I did think the Ravens was going to win, but I wanted those few points. But I looked at the Bengals schedule, even with Burrow down the stretch, it wasn't any joke where they couldn't have any mishaps. And I couldn't see them going just running the table in that
Gauntlet.
schedule. Yeah, I mean, so you're in a tough division. First of all, that's no joke, that division. And then just the rest of the AFC. So it was going to be a hard road, for them to be able to make it in. Two teams in that division period, they can't really mess up too much. They have to win. Pittsburgh, Cleveland, they all have to keep winning. Stay in the running. This is a playoff game, Pittsburgh and Cleveland.
It is. The Cleveland remaining schedule maps out is Pittsburgh at home, at Denver, and the Broncos are kind of really improved a lot.
Oh, a lot, yeah.
We'll get to them. They had that big win Monday night.
Mm-hmm.
Buffalo had 12 men on the field, and they fired the offensive coordinator, Dorsey.
Yes.
Because I guess they needed to find a fall guy. Like Penn State fired their offensive coordinator. I'm not sure. Do these coaches figure they have to get it? They're mad, so they have to take it out on somebody.
Yeah.
So it looks like the offensive coordinator is the particular fall guy, even though the offensive coordinator had nothing to do with having 12 men on the field with Buffalo.
Yeah.
Which, again, I don't even know what to make of the Buffalo Bills.
Well, there's been rumors about Dorsey, though, for a while because that offense has went south since he's taken over. I mean, he's been there, but, he didn't run it like Dable, and it's just a completely different offense. Doesn't seem like it has the same rhythm as when Dable was there as the offensive coordinator, and the things started going spiraling downhill for the Buffalo Bills. You can see the offense didn't run smoothly. So, I mean, for all the talent they got, you can't have your offense running because that's the big part of theirs.
But Josh Allen's a turnover machine. And then they fumble the ball. They miss a handoff. Then Josh Allen throws a perfect pass right through, who was the guy, right through his hands, interception. I mean, I'm thinking to myself, okay, maybe, but then you don't have 12 men on the field. You have 12 men on the field goal that Denver misses. And then once the flag, then they kick the winning field goal. My question would be, if you don't have 12 men on the field and you win that game on the missed field goal, Dorsey probably keeps his job.
Yeah, probably for one more week.
Maybe for another week.
Because their offense it's out of sync. It looks terrible.
I know the offense looks, but Allen to me looks out of sync. Like
he may be.
He's a turnover machine.
But I mean, he may be when you have a different voice, a different thing that you're doing.
Oh, yeah.
That can change your performance. I mean, it can. The guy you've seen, they had I forgot who the offensive coordinator was when he first got there. And then they put Dable in there.
Right.
And it was just that he got a quarterback-friendly type of system that you've seen. Josh Allen became elite. He has everything else is elite about him anyway. Size, arm, speed, everything. And then he had to work on accuracy, but he got him where he was accurate. Now he's fallen back into some of his old habits.
And he likes to throw the ball to the other team.
Yeah, well, that bad habit, back foot, all that stuff. You watch him, his mechanics. I remember when they was talking, Tom Brady was on that, if you ever listen to this show that comes on.
Yeah.
And he said that's all it is.
Was
He's
mechanics.
throwing his mechanics off. But see, Dable might have seen like, oh, he's getting off and get right back to him. Dorsey may not be saying anything and continue this. And after it becomes a habit, it becomes a problem.
Oh, yeah.
And see, that's the thing. And he just got to get fixed again. I mean, he's got too much talent. I mean, you done seen it. When guys lose or people that have 50,000 coordinators, and then you wanted to get with a team, man, they didn't play like that for us. Well, look how many offensive coordinators you had, how many head coaches you had. Guys, their head is spinning, and the offensive playbook of an NFL team, defense too, is unbelievable. So
it's like reading an encyclopedia.
Yeah. So I mean, he's trying to do too much sometimes, which he didn't do before. He started to eliminate some of that, Josh, but he tried to do too much, and then he gets in trouble with, well, I already know I got a big arm, so I'm just going to fit it in there. Where he would not do that under Dable. He wasn't doing that. Now he tries to fit him interception, all kinds of things. So it's just a habit. You can see it's habit forming. And then it brings down the other part of your team too. Because now guys don't function well. They fumble on the ball, they wasn't doing that. So, I mean, those are the things that happen,
Yeah, and it's always easy to fire the coach is always easy.
Yeah.
That's an easy, that's an easy thing
they're going to do that. They're going to not fire the player. I mean, especially if
but
you
I guess
seen.
The question that I have with Buffalo is having 12 men on the field with a game I guess what happened is I was listening to Mike Lombardi yesterday on Mad Dog Russo, and he said, like, when Denver had the ball and Russell Wilson, you knew was going to run to the center you should have had your field goal team on that. You should have had him out on the field then. Like, you should have had him go ahead, because you knew Russell Wilson was going to run the ball to the center and fall down, so the kicker could come in, get in and kick the ball, and they had it down. And he even said, so why didn't you have your field goal team on the, field at that play? So that way you would have those guys out there. You wouldn't
you mean when he ran it?
Yeah, when Russell Wilson had the ball.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. But not too many teams ever do that, though.
But
I know that I can understand what he's talking about. But But if he be honest, it's not too many NFLs that ever do that.
But having 12 men out on that field, they should. I think he's in trouble. McDermott, I think he's going to get canned.
Well,
at the end of the year, if they continue to flub, they seem like, I call it flub around. This team is just like falling. I mean, they just one mistake after another. That 12 men out on the field was.
But see, that could be a player, Pat. I'm telling you, from playing this game,
right?
That could be. You could have all you want. Your kicking team right there next to the coach. You send them in, and a guy that's on defense loses concept of what he's doing and stays on the field, and then they snap the ball, and you get 12 men. That happens a lot. I'm telling you. For what I know for sure, that happens.
But that falls to really, that's a coaching issue.
Well, no, it's a coaching. You got to get them, but it's a player too, because when a defensive player stays on the field, then where's his head at? Where's his head at? And you can do, but so you can holler.
But how do you have 12 guys out there?
Well, that's what I'm just telling you. That happens. I done seen it happen. I've been amongst that didn't happen. Guys will stay on the field when they're not on the kicking team. I done seen guys that's on the punt return team go out on the punt team. They'll make the mistake, and that's just something that's a mental mistake of not paying attention to your assignments.
Wouldn't that be the special teams coach?
Well, the special teams coach, they're going to say something to him for sure, but they're going to get on that player too. Because
I would think they would have fired the special teams coach too.
I don't think they would. They'd be on that player though. Whoever that is that was on that field, I guarantee, especially if he's a part of that defense and didn't get off.
Right.
Or they're on him. That's a missed assignment. And your coaches can do but so much. They can holler, they can scream. They can do all. You're not going to hear that down on that field as you may think you would. You're not going to. And by the time you react and get off, you could be trying to run off. It's still going to count.
No, they never. We saw the thing. They
didn't even run off.
They never ran off.
Even if you was running off, you're going to get caught in that one.
He didn't even run off.
That's
you had 12 guys.
You can have all kind of things. So as far as the speculation, I don't know if I fired a coach. I think getting fired had nothing to do with the 12 men. I think it got to do with that offense and showing it what they seen, how it's done spiraled out of control.
If they don't have 12 men on the field, Dorsey keeps his job.
Maybe. I'm gonna say maybe because they had already speculated. I think it was like 2 weeks ago. They said he is on a thread of going as this offense continues to spiral. There's no way that they should be in a dogfight with the Denver Broncos. When you look at the offensive firepower from both teams, right. So when they seen it, I believe, I don't care. He might have survived a week, but it wasn't gonna be long. He's going because this offense is terrible.
Oh, yeah.
For about the last 5 weeks.
And
Early in the season, they was doing pretty decent.
Yeah.
And then it spiraled out of control. It seemed like he doesn't have any type of rhythm to his offense. Nothing. They never have any rhythm. You watch them. They'll be going sometime. It looks good. And then the play calls will be like, why are they doing that? So I don't know.
Well, Joe Brady is going to be, who's their new guy? He used to coach Burrow.
Yeah,
at
that's
LSU.
Joe Brady. He's at Buffalo.
Brady, right? Joe. Yeah, he was at Buffalo. Now they're promoting him up to offensive coordinator.
Right, but I said he was already in Buffalo.
Yeah, he was already there in Buffalo.
He could settle stuff down.
So then he supposedly see what he could do with Buffalo.
I mean, you heard it from Burrow to where was he at in the NFL? Somebody just said
he was with Carolina.
Yeah, and they just said,
and then
he just changed.
And then they fired him or got rid of him in Carolina. But it sounds like Carolina, he was under Matt Rule. And
and he was just part of the staff.
And I just think, yeah.
But he only had that 1-year contract too. He came after he left out of college, he went there. So he was that's a guy that even Joe Burrow said once he got with him, he just settled things down for a quarterback. Scale stuff back and he settles it down so you be able to just know all your reads and make you a more efficient quarterback. Well, we've seen that even in Carolina when they was still winning, playing with PJ Walker at quarterback. They was playing with, I forgot who else they had at quarterback last year.
Brady was the quarterback's coach at Buffalo from 2020. He was there. He was the quarterback's coach. And they just promoted him to interim offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
So Brady was the quarterback's coach, coaching Allen.
And Witchcraft said he wondered, Mad Dog heard him say he's wondering why he wasn't offensive coordinator when Dable left. But I think Ken Dorsey was working next to Dable and probably was next in line. So, I mean,
So he was the guy, he was the quarterback's coach, coaching Allen with this offense that's been struggling. So now they're going to promote him to see if he can turn the whole thing around.
Yeah, maybe he'll go back to his system where he takes a lot of that complicated stuff out and let that, like Burrow said, he keeps everything calm and easy for you to, and then just let you go from there. And he just makes things easier for you. So maybe they'll allow him to do. They should. It shouldn't be no hesitant. Let him coach the way he coaches.
Well, as it looks like now, after painfully watching, if you look at that division, you've got Buffalo. I don't know if they're getting in the playoffs. I think they've played themselves out, but we still have a lot of games to play. Wow. They have a tough schedule, though, remaining. That's the thing. Boy, they showed the Buffalo schedule, and that will not be an easy task for Buffalo.
I think all of them do, too.
But they all,
Miami had one, too.
The Cleveland Browns schedule was somewhat of the schedules. We started Pittsburgh at Denver, at the Rams, Jacksonville home, Chicago home, at Houston, Jets at home. You think they could beat Pittsburgh? This is going to be this game's up in the air because we're going to be waiting, obviously, to see what the quarterback does with Cleveland. They have Denver at Denver. I think that's a winnable game for them.
It's good. They are playing better, though, Denver.
Denver has improved, though.
Yeah, they have.
I guess, people are thinking maybe Denver has a shot at getting in the playoffs if they continue to improve and win. That's what makes the NFL so crazy, is because these teams now who you could have written off in the beginning of the season and the way some of the other teams have started to play, like Buffalo, boy, the Jets we'll get to them, but boy, I watched that game against the Raiders. Boy, the Jets
They can't do it until they get a quarterback.
That's it.
I mean, they got elite defense. There's no doubt about it, but they can't do but so much. Offense is terrible.
That offense is just awful.
You need a good quarterback to know what he's doing, and then you do got to get a better offensive line. You got too much stuff, but you can still get away with some things in there with a good quarterback behind that offensive line. That it's sad. Wilson, I mean, he's got talent, but he has not advanced at all.
No, he's. I mean, I
don't know what's going on with
the GM. Let's call this for what it is. Douglas really realistically dropped the ball here. You knew what he was, what Wilson was last year. He can't play the position at the NFL level. On the best, he's a third string backup, maybe. He can't either. You've got to let him. He seems to do better when he's running and throwing the ball down the field in a pocket. He has got no pocket presence. He just struggles miserably. Douglas, you should have gone out and got a better backup, a veteran backup for Rodgers.
They still got what you call when they had a chance. What's our guy? Goes everywhere. I can't think of his name now. Used to be the starter for the Vikings, and then he got injured, and now he's been a
Case Keenum.
No, not Case Keenum. Used to be Bridgewater.
Yeah.
They were talking to Bridgewater.
That's who that said.
And they waited, and Bridgewater said, "I can't keep waiting." He signed with somebody else.
See,
they should have did that.
That's who they
should. Bridgewater's their quarterback.
That's your guy.
That's right now the way them other teams playing. They might be in first place.
Yes.
He knows how not to lose a game.
Right. Yeah.
Right. That's for sure.
He's not gonna screw things up.
Right.
And he knows how, like you said, to manage the game. He knows defenses. He knows how to move the team down the field. You watch him. He plays within the confines of his abilities, but he's very successful at doing that.
Yeah.
Had the Jets signed Teddy Bridgewater and he'll keep, if you really want to keep Wilson, let him be the third string guy, but bring in Teddy Bridgewater and play, and he would be your backup to Rodgers.
And I know you was trying to think of who it was. You said Case Keenum. To be honest with you, I take him.
Yeah, I would too.
If he had to be my backup behind Rodgers, I'm okay with that. He took and people might say, well, he's not good. Well, he quarterbacked a Vikings team and went all the way to the NFL championship game. And he plays well enough to get a team all the way through the season, or he can manage the game for a few games. He definitely could do that.
See, that would have been another backup they could have signed if it wasn't Bridgewater, but you could have had Case Keenum, one of those two.
Yep.
You could have but you could see watching the Jets play that I don't care how you cut it. Wilson's not your guy, never was your guy.
Yeah.
And they're not, I can't see them getting in the playoffs. It looks like that division now looks like it's going to be Miami's to win because Buffalo again is struggling.
What's their record now, Buffalo? They 5-5?
Yeah, I believe Buffalo now is 5-5.
And see, that's the thing about it. Before I used to say, well, that's it, but they got 7 games. You got a lot of time to turn things around, all these teams, but they got to get on it now. This is it. They have to. It's week 12 in the NFL?
Yes, week 11. This is week 11 NFL.
Okay, they got to get going. They have
they have the Jets this week. They're 5-5. The Jets come in at 4-5. They're in Buffalo. Buffalo's a 7-point favorite. Here's Buffalo's remaining schedule. After the Jets, they play at Philadelphia. Then they play at Kansas City. I mean, I think
that's the thing. You don't know what Buffalo team's showing up. That's the thing. They could beat those teams.
Then they have Dallas at home.
Yeah,
that's 3 teams there.
They could lose to all 3 of them.
Probably.
And if they show up, they could beat all 3.
That's true.
You don't know what mystery.
Anyway, Saturday morning sports page. Back after a real quick timeout. Pat Lucia, Dave Clark.
Western Reserve Radio is the Valley's online source for sports talk and local live events. Tune in and be a part of their live weekly shows, as well as all of the hard-hitting action of Youngstown Phantoms hockey, high school football, and the GDFL. Find them at westernreserveradio.com. Tune in and the Live 365 app to be a part of the area's sports conversation. Be sure to visit them on Facebook at Western Reserve Radio and on Twitter at WR_radio.
Accidents happen. That's why you need Repair That Glass. Specializing in windshield replacement and all other auto glass, we offer a full range of automotive glass repairs. Our technicians can do everything from minor chip repair to a complete replacement. Your windows don't go up or down, they can fix that too, along with custom glass work and antiques. Repair That Glass is a family-run business for over 40 years. Repair That Glass. Call for your appointment now at 330-534-3192.
SNK, painting your house today. SNK, painting your house
SNK Painting provides exceptional painting and refinishing services to the Mahoning Valley and surrounding communities by being an industry leader in our field, focusing on customer service and delivering extraordinary results. We offer interior and exterior painting, and we specialize in cabinet refinishing with affordable cabinet solutions. Call SNK Painting for your free estimate at 330-505-1910.
SNK, painting your house today.
Let's be real. The odds of a high school athlete getting a college scholarship and making it to the pros are pretty slim. Don't get me wrong. It's okay to dream of becoming a pro athlete, even a famous one. But that's not why I play. My reason why? I love the competition.
My reason why is community.
My reason why is leadership.
My reason why is to challenge myself.
My reason why is love for the game.
And hey, if we don't make it to the pros or onto the cover of Sports Illustrated, that's okay, because there's every reason to believe we'll excel in something even bigger than sports. We'll excel in life.
There are lots of great reasons to play high school sports. Tell us your reason using the hashtag #MyReasonWhy.
This message presented by the NFHS and the Ohio High School Athletic Association.
Saturday morning sports page coming right back at you. Pat Lucia, Dave Clark with me, 330-707-4202. Dave Clark, as we were talking about the remainder of Buffalo's schedule. After they play the Jets at home this week, they're on the road to Philadelphia and then at Kansas City. Then they have Dallas at home. Then they travel at the LA Chargers. Then they get New England at home. And then Miami will be at Miami is the last game.
That's always tough.
And that's always tough in the heat down there. January 7th is at Miami.
Yeah, that's a tough schedule.
But if you look at the schedule, I think they beat, I don't know. I don't know if they could beat the Jets this week or not. I don't know if they're going to cover the 7 points. They didn't come close to covering against Denver. I don't know if Denver's improved or Buffalo's that bad. But I see
improved for sure. Just watching their other games, it looked like they improved. Denver,
I think Denver has.
They execute a lot better. Don't look like a lot of turmoil like before. It looked like the team is rallying together. So I think they're coming on, but it's a lot of problems in Buffalo right now. Talent is there though. They could win. They could win these games, but if you go by how they've been playing,
if you go,
I see them winning 2 games out of that. What you just named 2. That's all I can say. Now you could mix and match. They could beat one of the big boys, Philly, Kansas City, Dallas. They could beat one of them, but then one other game. That's it. Yeah, I think they'll lose the rest.
See, right now I look at it is, if you look at their schedule, the Jets is an iffy. I would say they lose Philly, lose KC. Dallas is there, I don't know. That could be a coin flip because Dallas is a shaky road team. I think they could lose to the LA Chargers at there, and they lose at Miami.
Good.
That's at least 4. That's 4 losses that I see. That's going to give them an 8-9 record. They're not getting in.
Yeah. Well, if they get I just don't know if I don't know I don't know what to expect from. I mean, I can look.
I don't think they could beat Kansas City, and I don't think they're going to
not the way they're playing.
Philly. Right.
But if you ask me, if you just say forget about how they're playing, look at the talent wise of what they got, could they beat them teams? Yeah. I'll say that in a minute. I'm a Philly fan. They can beat them teams. They can beat them if you go according to their talent. But if you go according to what they're playing, they can't beat none of them teams. And they'll struggle against the Jets. The only reason they have a chance against the Jets
the
is
Jets
they can't score.
The Jets can't score.
So Buffalo can score even in their dysfunction. They know how to find the end zone at least twice. That's why I think they could beat them. The rest of those teams, they could lose all of them.
Except they already lost to New England.
Yeah.
And that's at home. I don't know if they could lose twice to New England.
Yeah, I don't think they would. I don't think they would there. But I mean, but that's the thing. But when I look at their players and that talent, I don't know what's going on with them there. But if they play to their abilities, they won't lose all those games for sure. But
yeah, they'll probably.
We'll see it. Maybe just to give them a spark. We'll find out.
Yeah, I guess we'll find. Yeah, we'll find it. Is Joe Brady going to be the quarterback whisperer, offensive coordinator,
Something went right in
turnaround?
Buffalo. Remember the first game of the season? Who did they get blown out by? Somebody.
Who's that?
Buffalo.
Oh, the first game of the season, they got beat by the Jets 22-16.
Yeah, and then they came out and blew somebody
and they
out.
blew
good.
the Raiders out the next week 38-10.
How about
at Buffalo?
After that, was it somebody else? They
beat
win.
Washington at Washington 37-3.
Okay,
so that was their blowout. Then they blew out Miami 48-20.
Yeah,
so
that's it. That's
they
the
had
one.
a 3-week span.
That's it, right there.
Where they looked like
they were ready.
The Buffalo you kind of knew. Granted, though, you beat the Raiders and you beat Washington. They're not good. They're average.
But at the time, Miami was rolling.
Was really a good team.
Yeah,
that was their best win. Then they got a gift handed to them by the referees when they played the Giants because the referees didn't throw the pass interference. That was a gift win because the referee should have thrown the pass interference. The Giants would have the ball inside the one, probably score, win the game. But
the best game they played early on was the Miami. They dominated them.
Yeah, Miami was their best game.
They was having problems with the Raiders at first, and then they Raiders fumbled and the Garoppolo interceptions.
Yeah,
and then that's it. Washington was playing them pretty good.
Right.
And then they had some miscues and the same thing.
And that game turned on a dime.
And then the Buffalo Miami, they played great. And then I don't know what, then
they lost to Jacksonville 25-20 at home. Then they beat the Giants in an absolutely ugly game on a Sunday night, 14-9, a game. Again, they should make sure the referee gets a gift card for somewhere because that was a gift game that the referee handed to him.
Said it. That's Sunday night game, wasn't it, against them?
That was a Sunday night game against the Giants.
I can't put my finger on it, but something's wrong with Buffalo. I remember him saying that game. He said, I can't put my finger on it. He said, besides that Miami game, they have not looked consistent at all. They don't even look right. They don't look the same. Nothing. And he said that way back then. That's week 5? Is that when it was when they beat the Giants?
Yeah, would have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Week 6.
Wait a minute. Yeah, let's see. Jets, Vegas, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6. Week 6.
So we're talking over almost to a month and a half when he said that. And they've
really never recovered.
Yeah, they've been good in.
They beat Tampa Bay 24, and that was a
struggle
that Tampa
too.
Bay game was a struggle because again, if Godwin turns around on the Hail Mary pass 2 seconds earlier, that ball's in his hands.
He couldn't find it. He was looking the wrong way. Then when he got it,
he looked the wrong way. Right. By the time he located it was too quick. But if he was 2 seconds earlier, Godwin makes that catch.
He's catching the football.
He catches it.
He's catching it.
And game over. Then all they needed the extra point. They win the game.
Yep.
So they were lucky to win Tampa Bay. They were lucky to win the Giants.
That was all games. Like when he said that, they looked don't look right. I don't know what's wrong with them, but they don't look right. And that's true. All the way from since then, straight down. They played that Miami game. I ain't got nothing to say about that. They look good all the way through. That's the only game this season.
That was the basically fourth game of the
And
season.
they have not looked the same.
And since then,
and not even before. They didn't look great before it either. They lost the first game, like you said, the opening game of the season.
Jets.
They beat Raiders. They beat I almost said Redskins. Washington. And we seen, okay, they got past those games. They have been terrible.
No.
Something
Ever since
is
the
wrong
Miami
with them.
game.
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with them. I don't know. And they better find out fast. They better start with this Sunday because tomorrow, because if they don't get that ship, you can forget it. Start getting ready for next season.
Yeah, that game's on CBS at 4:25. It's one of the national games.
They better get it ready. That's all I can say.
Because I think that if they don't make the playoffs, I think McDermott's gone. They'll fight. He's gone. I think they'll move on. I really believe.
I don't know how impatient they usually are.
They're not, but
they're similar to how the Giants.
But this team is spiraling downward.
This season, though, that's why I said maybe he might have a chance to right the ship next year because of how patient they are. Now, other squads, even if they were winning, they had one bad season, they get rid of the coach just like that.
Well, speaking of that, I mean, what do you think what do you think the chances are that Frank Reich, speaking of coaches, slide over a little bit, looking at coaches that survive, what do you think the chances are Frank Reich being a one and done coach?
I would think he would be able to stay there because of the amount of money they paid him, but
based on the owner,
based on him with the money that he has, he might not care. He may just say, "Okay, I'll pay you the rest of it. Get out of here and get somebody else."
The owner, the Carolina owner, to me, reminds me a little bit of George Steinbrenner, not Hal, the son. That's a different. I'm going to go off on that tangent, but he reminds me of the impatient owner that he wants results now and he doesn't want excuses. He doesn't want to hear about the roster. He doesn't want to hear about injuries. That's why he reminds me of the type of owner that says, look, I'm paying you and your assistants, and I bet he pays them good money. And I could kind of I see his point. He's the type of owner that says, look, I want results. I don't want excuses. Don't come in here and tell me about injuries. I have the GM. You're supposed to have backups that can fill the spot and continue to play at a high rate and win games. I don't want to hear about the talent and you don't have this. I'm paying you money. You have to figure it out. You're the coach. I don't want to hear excuses. And I have a feeling that because the team obviously is going to end up the Chicago's got their pick, that they're going to end up with the worst record. It looks like Carolina is going to end up with the worst record or the Giants. But the point is, I have a feeling that if he goes 2-15, I think Frank Reich could be out. I have a feeling the owner's just going to say
he's not patient. Especially if he think about he let Wilkes go.
Well, and that's the thing.
Think about that.
Right.
Yeah. That could be like people said, they was surprised that Mark Davis held on to Josh McDaniels.
As long as he did.
Yeah, because they said he did realize after last season.
He made a mistake.
Yeah, he was saying, maybe I should have, but he said, okay, let's give him another shot. But you see, he couldn't take it the whole season.
No.
He couldn't. He got rid of him. It's too much. You see it's still spiraling downward.
Right.
Get rid of this guy. So, and that's, it's not that Frank Reich is not a good coach.
No, I think he's a good coach.
Yeah, and he should have been where was he at? In Indianapolis?
He was the Indy coach.
Yeah, and but when they tried to,
he took the job because he was kind of he was the one when Josh McDaniels accepted the job and then pulled out. And then Irsay was stuck with, I got to make a decision. Then he went out and got Frank Reich.
Yeah. And he coached him well.
He's a good coach. I like Frank Reich. I think he's a pretty good coach. I would hate to see Carolina fire him after 1 year.
But you know what? We never think about judging coaches on certain, like, I think he's a good coach, but think about the situations. The Colts in Carolina. At the time that he went to the Colts, they had Andrew Luck, I believe. Is that when he went? Was Andrew Luck still there? Or did they already go to the next guy? Because I can't remember for sure. But anyway, take Andrew Luck out of the equation, even that's not true. They had a good offensive line, one of the best. Quentin Nelson and all these guys on the offensive line. Very good offensive line. Good back. They had decent receivers. On the defense, they had an all-pro linebacker, all-pro defensive backs. Two good pass rushers. They were set. Carolina did not have that type of situation. So he's taking over a new franchise. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? And then bring Bryce Young in, and with him being a quarterback, having him sit in the pocket. Because he looks good when he rolls out and throw the ball. He's pretty accurate. I mean, he's almost like what you said with Wilson, Zach Wilson. I mean, yeah, that's it at the Jets.
At the Jets.
Young is good rolling out too, but he has him sitting in the pocket. He's getting killed. I mean, gunshot. Why would you ruin your first round draft choice? I bring in a guy, a veteran, let him be the starter from the beginning. If my offensive line is not that great, he's going to have to deal with it, and my other guy's going to learn the NFL game because he's our future. Don't ruin your future, guys. You don't know what type of makeup they are. Sometimes guys be ruined after getting a gunshot.
To your answer to your question, yes, Frank Reich and Andrew Luck were together in Indianapolis in 2018. Indy went 10-6, and then they lost to Kansas City in the divisional game. So they were together, and then Andrew Luck, then right before the 2019 season, he retired. And then they had to go with Jacoby Brissett and kind of make.
Yeah, and he still had a decent team to hang in there.
Decent team.
You went to Carolina, got rid of a lot of guys that were new. They had some guys like Burns on the line, Shaq Thompson at linebacker. He had some good players, no doubt about that. But you didn't have that type of team that the Colts had. And I think since you had a guy that was already there working with those guys and had them playing like their hair was on fire, bring him back and go from there. Same thing with the Raiders. Bring Versace back because they was playing so hard for him and see what he can get out another year out. Now, if they can duplicate, you keep him around and get a long-term contract. If they can't duplicate, then you go get another
Then you
coach.
Find another coach.
But I would never do what they did. So to your point, I lean more with that one than I do McDermott. Frank Reich could be gone. Because, I mean, and then you got Tepper, who is not patient. I mean,
I don't know if he's going to survive it.
He's not the guy for that team.
I don't know. That's where will get interesting. Yeah, then just for the Reich went 7-9 the following year, and then they went 11-5 in 2020. But they lost to the Buffalo Bills in the AFC wildcard game.
So he had a good team.
He had a good team. He won 11-5 in 2020. That was the
Who was their quarterback
year.
then? Was it still Brissett, you think?
That's a good question because
that's funny. I can't remember.
Here, who was their starter, their quarterback?
Oh, it might have been Wentz. That's Wentz, isn't it? No, Wentz is when he messed up against Jacksonville. They didn't get to go to the playoffs. I don't know. It might have been Carson Wentz.
Phillip Rivers.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That's Phillip Rivers was the starter. Brissett backed him up.
Yep, that's right. I mean, see, and he had a veteran team, Quentin Nelson, a great offensive line. That's perfect for him.
Yep.
And he coached some guys and got them going. Start with a new deal. You got to go with the other coach you had them play because I thought they was gonna make the playoffs, Carolina. Towards the end, you could just they was beating everybody. I don't care who they was playing. Last year,
right?
Wilkes had them going nuts. the way they was playing. And then you bring in Frank Wright, and they don't play with the same fire or nothing. Sad. It's sad. I kind of agree with you. I think he's going to be gone.
I have a feeling he won't make it.
Now, who he brings in, I don't know.
He's 1-9.
Who they play somebody good this week.
Yeah, I believe it's Dallas this week.
Yeah, you're right. It's Dallas.
And Dallas is
giving up what, 14?
A ton of points.
I don't even know. I just was guessing. I didn't even look at it.
It's 10.5.
10.5.
They get
man.
10 and a hook at home. Panthers, the Cowboys at the Panthers, 10.5.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's going to be the key. The key is then ultimately who opens up the door, because with Chicago potentially, is that going to be another open head coaching position? Because now I think it's just going to turn into the Jim Harbaugh sweepstakes here. Yeah. I just think that's going to happen is I could see Carolina. Now, only Harbaugh's edge, he's got that prickly, he doesn't play nice in the sandbox,
right?
Because he doesn't get along with people, but he's one great coach.
Yeah.
I mean, Jim Harbaugh's a great football coach. I mean, I know Buckeye fans are all saying he cheated. That's why he beat Ohio State. No.
Yeah.
He beat Ohio State because they had a better team, and they beat Ohio State flat out. They beat you. Had nothing to do with stupid signals, whoever the stealing of the signals, which we laugh about.
Yeah.
Again, not to belabor on that, but that's just ridiculous in itself. However, when you look at these head coaching positions in the NFL that are going to open up next year, I think Harbaugh, I could be wrong. I think Harbaugh's done at Michigan at the end of this year. I think an NFL is going to offer him a lot of money and he's going to go.
Yeah.
I really do.
Well, I know he's getting tired of this stuff.
He doesn't want to recruit. I mean, he's getting in with the NCAA with the hamburgers, and now this thing with the sign stealing.
And I couldn't believe the hamburger thing, but because we ain't heard that in 30, 40 years, and they still doing that stuff. Come on, man.
Well, for the record, too, Dave Clark, Michigan fired. Who was the coach they just fired? Michigan just fired
somebody. They said that they found out he had some information or some files, right?
No, that was he didn't. They just fired, I think it was a linebackers coach. Because he didn't cooperate with the NCAA, so they fired him.
Okay.
And I thought to myself, so this guy didn't cooperate, and I wonder if it was Partridge. Michigan fired the linebacker coach Partridge. Now, they said because he didn't cooperate with the NCAA. And now I'm wondering if that was over the hamburgers.
Yeah, could be.
Because maybe Partridge wasn't cooperating. Maybe he knew more about what was going on with those hamburgers and then he wouldn't tell the NCAA maybe that they were cheeseburgers instead of just hamburgers.
And sometimes I'd be thinking those was forced fires.
Because it said
NCAA, they put so much pressure on them. We can't get Harbaugh, so we'll get this guy.
It said here that Partridge's firing stemmed from his lack of cooperation with the NCAA investigation. Now, it said, from the onset, our focus has been seeking due process and allowing NCAA to conduct a fair, deliberate investigation, Michigan said. Although the Big Ten has closed its investigation, we are continuing to cooperate with the NCAA as it moves forward ongoing investigation. Consistent with our commitment to integrity, we will continue to cooperate with the NCAA. My page just went blank on me. So at the end of the day, he evidently was fired. Let's see, it says consistent. We will continue to continue to cooperate, consistent with our commitment to integrity. We will continue to take appropriate actions, including disciplinary measures, based on information to obtain. And it just said earlier, Michigan relieved Chris Partridge his duties as the linebackers coach. So that's that. So he's out of a job. He didn't. Now, again, I don't know exactly if that has to do with this sign stealing situation, or was that having to do with the hamburger situation earlier that Harbaugh had to sit out for that too. So,
and it's just too much little things, little trivial things they're trying to do. I don't think he's going to deal with that. He loves coaching, it seems, so he probably will come back to the NFL. I mean, I think is that Eberflus, is that Chicago?
Evil flu, yeah.
I mean, I think he'll
quarterback
last unless it's Jim Harbaugh. If they got a chance to get Jim Harbaugh and he thinking about, I'll take the Chicago job, he's out.
I think you're right.
I think Chicago he played for them, that rough exterior, tough type. That's what Chicago wants anyway. So they would want to, I think they'll take him.
I'm not sure if Tepper and Harbaugh would get along because, Tepper's demanding. I could see that Harbaugh would, and he could really clash.
Yeah.
Because Tepper reminds me of the, getting results. I don't, results. And I think that in a roundabout way, I think ultimately that could be a problem.
Yeah, it might be. I mean, but I do definitely think that Frank Wright's in trouble. And like I said, I just think he's better suited for a team that was kind of equipped already. And he can go in there and get those players to play at another level. And that's what he did with the Colts. To bring somebody from the flat lines, almost like from they was on a respirator, to try to get them to be that team. I don't think that's the type of guy. Frank Wright's not that type of guy. Those guys they're different. That's your Bill Parcells, your Jimmy Johnsons, your guys that coach like that. They can go and coach somebody and just revive them. The Harbaugh, he was seen what he did, take over a team, same players, make them go to the championship game. I think they went to the championship game the first year.
First year in San Francisco, Jim Harbaugh took the San Francisco 49ers to the NFC Championship game, and I believe lost in overtime to the New York Giants. That's how close he was. And I remember watching that game. That was a great game. Jim Harbaugh was like one turnover from a Super Bowl. They had a turnover in that game. San Francisco had a turnover. And I just remember at the end, it kind of gave the game to the Giants, but it was such a closely fought game. San Francisco was just really close to getting into the Super Bowl his first year, and he took the same exact team that Mike Singletary had. And I believe Singletary was like 5-11, and Harbaugh took that same team, really had no changes to it. And he turned that team around to the point where it was a one play from a Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what you only got certain coaches. John Shula was one of those coaches. Right. I don't care where you plug Don Shula in,
gonna win.
He'll find a way to win football game.
Oh, Harbaugh's that type of guy.
Yeah, so I just think that's the guy. I think you put him in there. Now those type of coaches, when you want to revive something, those kind of guys you might want to bring in.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see.
That's
Frank
why
Wright, he's hanging by.
I'm wondering if Tepper obviously knows that, and he's the type of guy that wants things done now, and maybe he can, he would put up with Harbaugh. Right. The other potential job, because he started out as a quarterback coach, was the Oakland Raiders back in 2002, 2003. He started out as a quarterbacks coach at the Raiders. Yeah. That's where he got to start.
Yeah, Harbaugh, yeah.
And supposedly he's got a relationship with Mark Davis. So at the end of the day,
if Antonio Pierce doesn't,
if
they don't learn a lesson, they keep doing good. You keep Pierce.
Right. Now, Antonio Pierce could find himself with a job if they keep winning, no doubt. But I think he'd like to keep him. But if something goes awry, that's the music. It's halftime, Saturday morning sports page. We'll be back after this timeout.
You're listening to WRDB, Western Reserve Digital Broadcasting, Youngstown, Warren, Salem, and around the world.
If you are seeking a skilled photographer in Northeast Ohio with experience in capturing documentary-style photographs for various occasions such as family events, weddings, graduations, sporting events, and other special occasions, look no further than Colleen Moore Photography. Accessible via ColleenMoorePhotography.com, or she can be reached at 330-314-7547. Accidents happen. That's why you need Repair That Glass. Specializing in windshield replacement and all other auto glass, we offer a full range of automotive glass repairs. Our technicians can do everything from minor chip repair to a complete replacement. Your windows don't go up or down, they can fix that too, along with custom glass work and antiques. Repair That Glass is a family-run business for over 40 years. Repair That Glass. Call for your appointment now at 330-534-3192.
Located in Applewood Estates in Boardman Township, the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club offers a pleasant family environment. Choose a membership that meets your needs and enjoy a relaxing venue that includes not only swimming for the family, but also youth activities such as competitive swimming, tennis, and more. Enjoy the friendly atmosphere all summer long with the staff and members of the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club. For more information, go to applewoodswimandtennis.com or call 330-953-2833.
W&M Quality Roofing, LLC is an insured and bonded Mahoning Valley family-owned roofing business. At W&M, we treat your roof and home as if it's our very own. Give us a call at 330-647-0610 for a free estimate. Did you get damage from the latest storm? We also offer financing and specialists for insurance claims. For professional and efficient service, call W&M Quality Roofing at 330-647-0610.
Saturday morning sports page coming right back at you, 330-707-4202. It's the second half of the show, Dave Clark, as we kind of motor our way through the Saturday morning, talking a lot about the NFL, football, where Jim Harbaugh will probably end up as a head coach in the NFL, since we've already figured that he will be moving on from Michigan. I would say, what would you rate it, like 70-30?
That he's leaving?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I just think he's tired of the NCAA.
Well, that's what I think.
So
I think it's a culmination of he's tired, and I think the school's kind of tired of him because he does. I don't think he gets along with certain people, in the athletic department, because he wears people out.
Yeah.
He did it at San Francisco. He's a great coach.
Right.
He doesn't have a long shelf life.
Well, something about, I'm going to say this society-wise. When you have a person that has go to their, as I say, walk to the beat of their own drum.
Right. That's him.
Or they're able to, express themselves how they feel about something. People seem to get upset. And that's what it is. He's outspoken. So they don't like that. They want you to always just do what they tell you to do. And when you get somebody like that, then all of a sudden they're a problem. I think that's why his shelf life is so short. So, but I do believe he's, I know I would get tired when you come talking about hamburgers and then these signs still in mess. A lot of times he may not have anything to do with any of that. But regardless, if he did or didn't,
he's the one, the fall.
Yeah, he's always going to be the fall guy. You're the head guy, so that's going to happen anyway. So, yeah, I think he'd rather go back to the NFL if he could for the right job. And I think that's where you'll find him. Now, will he take one of these, like Carolina or somewhere like that and take it over? Maybe.
One thing in the NFL, we always know that there's going to be jobs opening.
Right.
Some years it's not quite as many.
Right.
we've had some of them have been 7 or 8. Sometimes it's only been 3 and 4.
Yeah.
But year in and year out, there's going to be.
We know when that Monday comes.
That's that Monday.
That Monday is terrible.
That's when you play that song, The Backstabbers.
It's coming.
And that's coming.
We already know it's coming. Just got to see what day is the last day of the season.
Yep. That's
just
would
mark
be
the
January. I think it's January 8th. Because January 7th is, I believe,
Sunday, isn't it?
January 7th is the last day of the year.
Yep. There's no Monday night games in the
There's
last
no-
one of the season.
right.
So Sunday is the last one.
Right.
That you would be right. January 8th.
I believe.
Oh, that's correct. That is right.
Right.
It is. Because it's on a Monday.
Yeah, it is
First-
because
yep.
January 1st is the Monday.
Yep.
And they're having this year, they're having the college football playoff is not going to be the 31st, but it's going to be January 1st. The Final Four is January 1st this year because
On a Monday,
December
right?
31st is a Sunday.
Yeah.
You're not going to have that on a Sunday because of the NFL.
Right.
So they're going to move it to January 1st will be your Final Four.
Yep. And I'm telling you.
And then January 8th, January 7th is the last day for the NFL.
January
So
8th.
January 8th is the Black Monday, as they
Yes, and
refer
it's
to
coming.
it.
We always get one that we didn't count. Like you say, this
Right.
guy's gone, and all of a sudden,
Right.
somebody hits the chopping
Somebody
block
comes
you
out
didn't
of
think.
right. There's always
See, that's where McDermott, even though you're saying you could see that, that's where that fits in. Let's say how many games they got left? 7. Let's say they went 3 and 4.
they got 7 games, and
Let's
if
say
they
go
go
3 and 4.
if they go
Maybe 8,
3 and
9.
4, which if you look at their schedule,
And they could.
which we've had, it looks like they may go 3 and 4.
And then let's see how much
Possibility
turmoil. If it's a lot of turmoil, I could see him get
That's good.
fired then.
that
If
would
things
give
can
them an
stay
8
calm,
and 9 record
I know.
out of the playoffs.
Yep. If he can keep things calm within house, he may survive. But if it's a lot of turmoil, coaches, all kind of other things going on, that's the type of job where you see a guy like Jim Harbaugh come into that. That team is already equipped. They come in
Well,
and change.
It's what I think. I think Jim Harbaugh is going to be, I'm convinced, he is going to be the number one guy out there where these teams are going to go after because of his past track record in successful NFL coaching that he's had. He has proved to you, again, not that maybe doesn't play nice in the sandbox. He's an edgy guy, rough around the edges, but he knows how to coach the players, and the players go out and play for Jim Harbaugh.
Right.
And I have a feeling that anybody out there, any coach, especially these billionaire owners who are, some of them are not very patient. I understand when you have all that money wrapped up and you're paying coaches a lot of money, you don't want to hear excuses. You don't want to hear about an injury. He's saying, hey, no. And he's like the GM, you're supposed to have the guys to back these guys up. There shouldn't be a gap in talent there. You're the GM. I'm paying you big money. So you could see a guy like a Tepper demanding, and I understand he wants results and he's paying big money for this team. He was a billionaire. He probably is very successful at what he did. So I could see him going after Harbaugh. Now I could see those guys clashing, but he also knows Harbaugh could give him results. In fact, all those owners look at him now. That's why I think he's pretty much done with the NCAA in college. I think he did well with Michigan, especially if Michigan goes on and wins the title this year, which they could. I don't rule it out because they are a good football team. They got a lot of talent.
Yeah.
If he wins the NCAA title, I could see him definitely going to the NFL and telling Michigan, when they would want to renew the contract and give him a bunch of money. And I could see him telling them, I'll see you around.
Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah.
It just makes me wonder, will he stiff his alma mater or not? We'll see. It's a tough.
Well,
I know
they
it's gonna be a
pulled the
tough decision.
contract extension away from him.
Yeah, I know.
And I think, and they've had,
and that might have made his ruffle his feathers. He didn't say much about it.
No.
But he may not like that. So when they come running back, he could say, he could say that's it.
He goes, you could take the extension
Yeah.
and keep it because I'm leaving.
Yeah.
I'm going to I'm going to go to
Yeah.
name the place: Chicago, Carolina, Indy.
Yeah.
I don't know if the Indy job will be open. I don't think it will be, but Carolina and Chicago, maybe the Raiders.
Yep.
But I think if Pierce turns that team around and they start winning games, I think Davis is giving him the job.
Yeah. And that, let me see, they play this week. Somebody good though. Somebody can put up big points. Was it?
They play
KC.
This is one of the games. They play at Miami.
At Miami. Let's just say they can, whether they beat them or not. Let's say they compete with them. I mean, it's down the wire.
They're coming east, and usually the Raiders don't do well coming east.
And let's say they do.
But if they play,
they're gonna have to factor in all that for Pierce, and then they got to think, wow, we got rid of.
Well, he's 5-5, so he's in the playoff hunt.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. He's right. That's what I'm saying.
They've had ugly wins, but it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it don't matter. You want W.
He's won 2 games,
and that's what I'm saying. If you play well against Miami, and then after Miami, you can start winning some more. You have to think, we let Versace go. We better not let this guy go too. Yeah, you just got to
say. And I think that's probably the most important right there. I think the owner, Mark Davis realizes he screwed up. He knows he did.
Well, he said, I got that Raiders newsletter, and he said, after he calculated everything, he thought about with Versace's age, how much at one time they had a talk before he was asked to be a head coach. Well, he didn't know he was going to be a head coach. They didn't know that Gruden situation was going to happen.
No, right.
But he didn't know how much longer he was going to coach when he was asked about coaching, period. And with all those inklings of not knowing, had a little bit of factor in him decide, well, we'll go a different route because we don't even know how long this guy is going to coach. So he goes a different route. But he probably think, I shouldn't have done that. Now, Pierce is a lot younger, and he could be there, for a while, but he's got to think about that. You got guys playing hard as ever for him.
That's the key there.
And he might just not want to wrinkle that. But it's going to be hard to turn down Harbaugh, though. For the simple fact, he already you might as well say that's where his coaching started. And he has a relationship with him, and he knows what type of coach he is, type of demanding. I think that's the only guy that can come in there and do that. Other than that, if they can win and perform the rest of the season out really well, you got to keep him.
Well,
you got to keep Pierce this time. You can't let what happened with the Versace happen again.
Here's the Raiders' remaining schedule. As we mentioned, it's at Miami tomorrow. Then they have Kansas City at home. Then they have Minnesota home. Then they have the LA, who we like to call the Chargers, San Diego Chargers. That's the Thursday night game. Then they have Kansas City on Christmas Day. Again, then they have at Indy and Denver home. Denver at home is the last game of the season. So, I mean, he's got Kansas City twice. That'll be 2 interesting games because they have a tendency. You never know how that always plays out. And the team is revitalized. I mean, I give Pierce is really, at least with 2 wins. I don't want to say he's Vince Lombardi, but I could see that the team has really played well for him. Yeah. So I think that with Pierce coming in and he can get these guys motivated, if he wins, if they end up in the playoffs, he's there. I don't know how, if the Raiders end up
do the same thing again.
Versace he would not. There. I would think Mark Davis would not do that.
Yeah. I don't be tempting though, because if it's Harbaugh, it's going to be so tempting.
That may be tough.
That's going to be tough.
I think what's going to happen, I think Harbaugh, it could end up getting into a situation where there'd be a lot of teams looking to hire him this year. And I think he's leaving Michigan.
Yeah.
I just think that he's lived his kind of coaching. I'm trying to figure out here real quick. He's been at Michigan since 2015. That's the longest he's ever stayed in one spot right now. If you look at his coaching career, He was with the Raiders for 2 years. He was with San Diego 3 years. He's with Stanford for 4 years. He was with the 49ers for 4 years. He's been with Michigan now since 2015. So that's basically 9 years. So he's at his 9th year as head coach, I believe, at Michigan. So I basically think pretty much when you break it down, I think this is where he's thinking, okay, he's going to move on. I mean, I don't know. I could be wrong. They've pulled his contract extension away from him. So I won't be, but I will not be surprised if he moves on. That's the longest he's ever coached at one spot is Michigan.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna see what the surprises come about. We know they're coming though.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt. We'll see. Like I said, the Raiders is a very interesting situation as it is. Let's go. Let's hit our NFL picks today, and then we'll wrap up. We're going to do a little different today. Let's get, since we've been pretty much talking NFL football, and then let's do the picks, and then second on the fourth quarter we'll look at the college, and then we got all the things with doing with college as far as this is the last year for the Final Four.
Yeah.
If Texas loses today, are they out? What one-loss teams could get in? But if Florida, the problem with they could be facing, usually this Final Four in college works itself out.
Yeah.
Now, this is a last year for it. It would be interesting if it doesn't go that way. Like if
chaos, you mean?
If it's chaos, which
and
is
that's what we always wanted for years.
We want chaos.
Yeah. We've been wanting it for years.
And then I wasn't really going to get into the whole thing. It would remember that it's Clarissa Thompson. She's a sideline reporter.
Yeah.
And I guess she came out and said that like she's supposed to interview the coaches. And sometimes the coaches she couldn't get them to interview. So she like made up she like made up
stuff.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What they said.
Did any of the coaches get upset about it?
No, because she kept it pretty,
really vanilla type.
She kept it real vanilla. Like, we have to do better. We have to play better. She didn't put anything, like she just, put the typical stuff that they probably would have said.
That came out this week.
It was this week. And then she put an apology out.
That was what, for last year's Final Four or when?
She was a sideline reporter back then. Now, she's on NFL.
Hell yeah, now.
Yeah, we see her at she anyway, she was she got into this thing where she apologized saying she was fabricating NFL sideline reports.
Oh, NFL.
She said, did I say college? I apologize. No, it wasn't college.
Yeah, because she does the Thursday night, I think.
Yeah,
right?
she's doing Thursday night now with Prime.
Right.
She's on the panel with the rest of those guys.
Right.
The bearded
Sherman
dude.
and Fitzpatrick and Gonzalez and all of them. Yeah.
She's on that panel with the Thursday night group on Prime. Yeah. Anyway, if this came out earlier in the week that she fabricated NFL sideline reports because she couldn't get the coaches, so she just kind of threw the report in that this is what the coach said. And
that's funny.
It was kind of, I thought what I always this is what my take is on this is, to be honest with you, I think this is my opinion. I think the whole interviewing of these coaches is a total waste of time because they're not telling you anything. And they're going to give you the vanilla, pretty much run-of-the-mill answer that they all give you the same answer. Oh, we got to play better. We can't have the turnovers. We had this, again, they're just going to give you a little this is what we did wrong. This is what we got to do right. They never say anything about the other team or the other team's playing great. We need to play better.
Yeah.
And so people are very upset because, she apologized for all this.
Because people got upset about
it.
it?
Yeah, people are very upset saying, oh my gosh, how could you do that? And I kind of thought to myself, that's like kind of the dog ate my homework. I got to do something,
Yeah.
And then I guess she said that one of the NFL coaches told her he liked her perfume. So she goes, am I supposed to say that like the NFL coach said he liked my perfume? Am I supposed to report that?
Yeah. Let's think of something.
I read it. I was just like I thought it was I just kind of thought it was funny.
Yeah.
I mean, I know people are upset because of what she did. Because she, supposedly she's admitted she fabricated sideline reports with these NFL coaches.
Hey,
no,
had to fill the time slot
on a scale from egregiousness from 1 to 10. Where do you rate this? 1 being who cares? 10 being like
0. And then you have to say it because I don't even care.
I don't either.
I don't care what she said about that.
I don't even.
Sometimes I have to even listen. Let's get the game
right.
And if I tape the game, I fast forward it right on past that.
I did
into
too.
the game.
Yeah.
Right into the game. That's what I mean. Come on.
Right. I don't listen to any of it
because most of it is the same jargon over and over.
It's all right. It's the same.
And I understand it's regurgitated.
It's all regurgitated in these years ago. One radio station, not this one. There was another radio station used to do a coaches show. And what they did is they went out, high school coaches show. And what they did is during the week, they would go out and interview the coaches.
Mm-hmm.
And then they would do the coaches show and replay all the interviews, over the air on a Friday. Okay. Right. I listened to it once. Those coaches all say the same thing. It's almost like they either have a
script,
it's the old book of excuses. It's those guys have the book of responses and they're all the same. I couldn't tell one coach from another coach because what they say is pretty much the same thing. We can't have turnovers. We have to play good defense. We have to execute the offense. We're playing a great team. We've got to get first downs. Yeah. Okay. They give you the obvious stuff.
Right.
But all the coaches are saying the same thing. Yeah. I can't tell one from the other.
Yeah. They're not going to give you no controversy.
No. And they're not going to give you their game plan. Someone goes,
sure.
And if you ask the game plan, they're not going to give you that. They'll give you some other answer.
Right.
And if you ask them a question they don't want to answer, they give you another answer. And then, even if you continue with the same question, they're going to still give you a different answer, but they're never going to answer that question.
I remember somebody, it might have been Kevin Stefanski this season. They kept asking him since Deshaun was not playing, are you going to guys run the ball?
Yeah.
You're going to keep, what you probably need to do is keep running the ball. And he just said, well, that's just a part of the game. We definitely want to run the ball.
Right.
But we're going to play the best offense that we.
Right.
So they're trying to get something to find out what he's going. He's not telling you if he's going. And they came out and they was throwing on first down with PJ. So Walker, they were throwing on first down, doing all kind of different things. Like he was going to tell you we're going to run the ball all day. No,
right.
That's Cleveland. That's what they do. They want to run the ball, control the clock if they can.
Right.
But he made sure they mixed it up. He's not going to come in there and tell you, no, we're going to get PJ Walker is not in second and long. We're going to throw the ball when they think we're going to run. Like he's going to tell that. No. You're not going to tell that.
They're never going
just something just to fill the time. That's what they do, just fill that time.
Tell you, right.
Some of them be agitated sometimes. It'd be so funny. Basketball, football, and when they come at the halftime, that is so funny.
I think that's
like when they're trying to go in.
Yeah,
they're trying to be they're trying to be nice. Some of them just like.
Well, the problem the reporters got is they got somebody yelling in their ear what they're supposed to ask.
Yep, and hurrying them to them.
And the coaches, the coach is just trying to get into that locker room and figure crap out.
Yeah,
And my favorite one was John L. Smith from Michigan State at the time. They outplayed Ohio State. And
he was at Michigan State then?
Michigan State.
Yeah.
They outplayed Ohio State for the first half, but Ohio State took the punt return back for a touchdown, and they were up 14-13 at half. You could see John L. Smith was beside himself. And sure enough, he's running off the field, and the reporter comes up to him and says, "Coach, what happened? What are you going to do?" And I remember he said to the reporter, he goes, "You know what? We have to get faster. We have to get faster for the second half because we just screwed this up." Like, he didn't know. Like, he goes, we just made a bad play at the end. We have to figure out a way to get faster. He goes, we played really well, but we're losing on the scoreboard. We better get faster going into that second half. I laughed. I thought to myself, you're gonna get into the locker room telling guys, "Hey, you guys, you got to run faster."
Right. Yeah. He probably just said anything. He didn't care.
Oh, he didn't care. He was beside himself. And he looked frazzled because I could see.
Yeah.
Because he literally outplayed Ohio State the entire first half. Only they were up 13-7, and they had that punt return. The guy ran it in for Ohio State, and that was the half. And they were losing 14-13 after dominating Ohio State for a whole half. And it was just like, you could tell he was totally frazzled. He was like so mad, which does, of course.
Yeah, you don't feel like talking then.
No. Anyway, let's get to the NFL. We'll start it, and then we're good. We're coming up on the fourth quarter break. Then we'll get to college. Let's start off with the Steelers and the Browns, Dave Clark.
Mm-hmm.
This is at 1 point.
Wow.
This was 3 points, and then when the line went, the information came out that Deshaun Watson was basically out, it's 1.5 now. So the Browns are giving the Steelers 1.5 at Cleveland, 1 o'clock CBS. Steelers getting 1.5.
Hard one there.
Opened at 4 points, and now it's down to 1.5. And obviously, we know that the Browns will not have Deshaun Watson. It's Dory and Thompson Robinson.
Yeah, that's who's starting.
DTR.
And I know he's got talent. He was forced into that.
Right, he was forced into that game.
Yeah, so it's Watson. I'm playing, and then on a Thursday, I'm not playing. He had 1.5 days to get ready.
Dorian was like, "There you go, thrown to the wolves, sort of to speak."
Had a rough time. I think he'd be a lot better this time. You got to run the ball. You can't run the ball in Pittsburgh, so that's what they got to do. Man, not crazy about Pittsburgh's offense.
I'm not either.
I'm gonna take Cleveland.
Yeah,
boy, it's hard, but it's really hard. I'm telling you, because Pittsburgh, even though I don't like the offense,
they always find a way to win.
Yep, I don't care what it is, they find a way to win.
I was back and forth on this.
That's hard.
I'm gonna take Browns. I was gonna go Steelers because I'm still not sold on DTR, but I think I'm gonna give them a benefit of the doubt here.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the Bears at the Lions, and the Bears are getting 7 and a hook on the road. Bears came off a big win over the Panthers Thursday night, so they've been resting for 10 days. The Lions won a big game against the LA. We call them the San Diego Chargers, 41-38. 7.5 is what the Lions are laying.
7.5. This is hard. This is hard. You probably would think, well, the Bears, it's not hard. But it does seem like the defense is playing harder.
Justin Fields is starting he's back for the Bears.
Yeah. And even though the Bears is 2-2 with the other guy, though.
Yeah, they were 2-2 with Badgett.
Yeah. It wasn't bad.
Yeah, they actually played okay.
Yeah. That's why I say I don't know if,
they're at Detroit.
Can always make those big plays, but I don't know about this one. This is kind of hard. This might be changed the last minute games. I'm going to go. Is that Detroit?
At Detroit.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Detroit.
Yeah, I'm taking the Lions. I'll take the Lions at home.
Watch for David Montgomery. He's gonna probably try to score every time he carries the ball against his old team.
Saturday morning sports page will be right back after this timeout. Fourth quarter of the show is up next. Western Reserve Radio.
Meludic Live is your home for high school sports. We have all the scores on our social media platforms throughout the games. Enjoy our timely updates from local area schools year-round. You won't get the consistency and reliability from anyone else. Our number one priority is servicing our fans and getting them live news as it's happening. Follow us on social media, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Meludic_live. And remember, our fans come first.
Lena's Pierogi House is your home for the area's best variety of pierogies. Daily specials include the Polish platter, the Hungarian platter, stuffed cabbage, and halushki. Having a last-minute get-together? Lena's has you covered with a wide variety of frozen take-home pierogies and dumplings. Go to Facebook at Lena's Pierogi House to see the weekly lineup of available flavors for dine-in or carry-out. Catch the best at Lena's Monday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Tuesday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. 20 North Main Street in Hubbard, or call 234-254-8532.
SNK, painting your house today. SNK, painting your house
SNK Painting provides exceptional painting and refinishing services to the Mahoning Valley and surrounding communities by being an industry leader in our field, focusing on customer service and delivering extraordinary results. We offer interior and exterior painting, and we specialize in cabinet refinishing with affordable cabinet solutions. Call SNK Painting for your free estimate at 330-505-1910.
SNK, painting your house today.
If you want to stay on top of your health, one simple thing to do
is take the pledge to go and get screened for the cancers that might affect you.
So stand up, cancer, and take a pledge and get
GetScreenNow.org. It only takes a minute to take care of yourself, and nothing rhymes with poor.
Talk to your doctor about your health and screenings that are right for you.
Saturday morning sports page coming right back at you. Fourth quarter of the show, 330-707-4202. Get in and talk sports. Dave Clark, let's go ahead and get through the NFL picks, and we'll get to the college lot to get to. Bolts are at the Packers, and actually the Packers are getting 3 points home. Bolts are 4-5, Packers 3-6. Bolts are looking, the Chargers are in the playoff hunt, kind of, but they're in the AFC. They got to start winning games.
Yeah.
I mean,
4-5 or somewhere in there.
Yeah, they have blown games left and right, and they're all they lose a lot of close games. And this is a tough. I mean, it's the chart. They're playing in Green Bay.
Wow.
Let's see what the weather's supposed to be like in Green Bay. I bet it's going to be kind of cool.
Yeah, probably cool. I'm gonna say in the 30s or something.
Right. I would say,
but not cold as they can be in.
Yeah, supposedly they said it's supposed to be it's actually going to be 48 chance of rain. So
Oh man, you can't beat that.
that's not bad. So anyway, cold, rainy day for maybe the game. Chargers are giving the Packers 3 points.
Oh,
this is a tough one.
It's tough.
Because the Bolts need to win, but they're coming east.
Yep.
Well, not too far east or Midwest.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with. Oh, this is hard. Chargers, I guess.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Bolts. Move on. Let's go to the Raiders. The Raiders are at the Dolphins. We talked about this already. It's 13 and a hook now. Went up a little bit. So it's the Raiders are at the Fins. It's minus 13. A lot of wood there. Raiders coming east. Can the Raiders keep it close? That's the question.
I mean, if I just look at it, I'm gonna say I'm giving it to the Dolphins. I'm actually would love to see it. This is one I don't mind losing, but They don't play well coming from normally.
They normally don't.
They don't
Or
play
they
well.
normally don't
And
do
then you
well.
playing a high-powered offense. It's done had some rest for a little bit.
And Miami is coming off a bye.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. Everybody's fresh, ready to get going, healed up. I don't like that. So I'm going Dolphins.
Me too. I'm going to go to Dolphins. Again, coming off the bye.
Yeah.
Raiders coming
A
east.
lot of
usually,
points to give up, but
Raiders had a tough win, a good win on a Sunday night game.
Yep.
Let's go to the next one. The Giants are at Washington. This is 8.5. Giants get 8.5 on the road. And at Washington, Washington lost a tough game last week to Seattle at Seattle 29-26. The Cowboys just destroyed the New York Giants. Really never a game, 49-17. Tommy DeVito is the quarterback for the New York Giants. And I guess the question is, can the Giants, the only thing is, can the Washington cover? Historically, the Giants play them tough.
I know. That's why I'm gonna take them. That point total. Nah, wait, I don't know. Oh, that's a hard one.
I have to.
It is DeVito.
As much as I think that Washington, but with DeVito as the quarterback,
Yeah,
I
gotta
just
switch. I'm thinking of them, and they got Tyrod or something.
if Tyrod was the quarterback, I'd take the Giants, but DeVito is just
it's a little bit too much right now.
Yeah,
I'm gonna take the Redskins.
Yeah,
the Redskins. Can you hear that?
Of course,
the Commandos.
That's right. Next one on the docket is the Dallas Cowboys at the Panthers.
Oh God,
10.5. Panthers are a home dog, getting 10.5 at
Give
home.
me the Cowboys. I'm this week. I'm giving up all kind of points. Give me the Cowboys.
Get the boys.
So I didn't get the Cowboys 10.5, 13 with the Dolphins. Who else we did? 8.5 with the Red.
We're giving up a lot.
Oh my.
I don't know. I was tempted to take the Panthers just because the Cowboys don't play that good on the road.
And that is true.
But man, true. That
is true.
I don't know. My gut tells me the Cowboys just because I just can't see the Panthers competing with them. Let's go on to the Titans at the Jags -7.
You take
Jags
Cowboys too?
What's that?
You took Cowboys?
Yeah,
too?
I took the Cowboys too, begrudgingly. I'm on the fence
I remember
on
last time we both took
because
the Cowboys against Arizona.
I think it was Mike Lombardi. Yeah. Mike Lombardi yesterday on Mad Dog took the Panthers because of the points.
Yeah.
And he goes, Dallas doesn't play good on the road. He goes, they're okay, but he goes, I could see them winning, but just not covering that many points.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm at. I'm almost tempted to go flip on it and take the Panthers and all those points.
Right.
But the Panthers play so lousy.
I know. It's hard
they're just so bad.
Yeah, it is.
Titans are at the Jags. The Titans got beat last week against the Buccaneers. We both took the Titans, and they were never in that game. They lost to the Buccaneers in Baker 20-6. And the Jags, I don't know why we picked Jacksonville last week. I don't know what we were thinking. They got absolutely boat raced by the 49ers, 34-3. So the Jags are laying 7 points to the Titans this week. This is one of these games because
that's what they might win by 7. I'm gonna take them though. I'm gonna take the Jags to bounce back. Titans got a lot of issues going on.
Yeah, I know we're both going to chalk on this whole thing. Anyway. Let's move on. The Cardinals are at the Texans. And this is up to -6. The Texans are laying -6 to the Cardinals. Cardinals won last week over the Falcons. Kyler Murray was back and played really good.
He did.
Very good.
Yeah. Yes,
he looked, and they won the game 25-23. They're at the Texans. The Texans beat the Bengals last week 30-27 with the field goal.
And it's in Houston, right?
In Houston.
I'm gonna stay with the home team. I'm gonna stay with them. But that Kyler Murray did make a big difference. That's for sure.
Okay. I'm going to go outside the box here. I'm going to take the Cardinals and the points. I think Kyler Murray's going to keep it close. I
All
don't
the
think
rest
they're
of them,
going to win.
we had the same, didn't we? All of them, didn't we? Except that one right there. Is that the first one we?
Yeah, this is
had
the first
different?
one we disagreed on. Next one is the Buccaneers are at the 49ers. Man, this is a tough one. I think the 49ers are back. They are. This is up to 12 points. So,
Yeah. I mean, I think they win right there. I thought 2 scores. So I'm going to take the 49ers.
yeah.
I don't think Tampa Bay can put enough points on the board.
No, I'll take 49ers. The Jets are at the Bills. 7 points. And the Bills get, I don't know what to make of this. I don't know. The Jets to me look so bad.
I know.
They have absolutely that quarterback. But Buffalo looks worse in a way. Like, I can't tell the difference between either team.
Oh. Yeah, well, see, I will because they look, the Jets offense looks
Both these
anemic.
teams are spiraling downhill.
Yeah, but their offense is not anemic. Buffalo, they can still do
Right,
things.
they can do
but
a lot.
They're not consistent. The Jets don't look good at all on offense. At none.
I lost last week. I'm taking the Bills, and the reason why I'm taking the Bills, I think Joe Brady is the new voice. I think it's gonna be a new approach. Maybe you're right on the whole thing with getting rid of Dorsey. Maybe it was the move they needed to make.
Yeah.
You gave why they were doing it. I'm gonna go on a limb. I'm taking the Bills.
Yeah. Well, I just
lay the points.
Yeah, I'm doing that just because I know their offense can score and look capable of scoring at any time. The Jets don't even look capable. Then
No.
can they? They might score, but they don't never. I don't look at them as like, oh, they're going to put some points on the board. I look at Buffalo, no matter how dysfunctional they are, I know they got players that can score. So I'm going with them. It's only 7, you said, right?
7.
Yeah.
The next one is one you're going to have to do a lot of thinking. Seattle at the Rams. Geez, this is an interesting game. This game it went from +1 to -1. Now the Rams are -1. It was +1 yesterday. This line is just tweaking between right to pick them 1 point either way. Now the Rams give the Seahawks 1 point. Seahawks on the road, taking on the Rams, getting 1 point.
I'm gonna take the
Rams are coming off a bye. The Seahawks coming off the big win against Washington, 29-26.
They got Stafford is back.
Stafford is back. Supposedly the Rams are the most healthy they've been all year is right now. Stafford is back.
I'm actually going to take them.
They're yeah.
I'm actually take the Rams.
I think he's ready to play. Make sure that it says here Matthew Stafford thumb set to start versus the Seahawks.
Okay.
Looks really good to play against the Seahawks. So he's supposed to play. Justin, these are the guys. Justin Fields, Matthew Stafford to return. We know that. Okay. So Stafford, you want the Rams?
Yeah, I'm gonna try the Rams.
Right. I'll take the Seahawks. That might be a mistake. Vikings are at the Broncos.
That's an interesting game.
This is really an interesting game.
Like that.
Let's see that one. That point spread, it looks like is a -2.5. So the Vikings are getting -2.5. This is the Sunday night game. Vikings at the Broncos -2. Vikings are getting -2 on the road.
Are the Vikings getting the points?
Vikings get the points in Denver.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Vikes. See if the Joshua Dobbs train can still keep going.
I'll take the home Broncos.
That's going to be a good game, though. I think
that's going to be a really good game. Finally, maybe one of the best games of the year. The Eagles are at the Chiefs. Eagles are getting 2.5 points. Both these teams are coming off a bye. So Monday nighter might be the best game. I think might be considered the best game of the weekend. The Eagles are at the Chiefs, -2. Eagles get -2, Dave Clark. I'm taking the Eagles.
I'm thinking about it too. It's in KC, right?
At KC.
Yeah, it's a big one. I'm gonna take them too. Taking my Eagles. 2 points, right?
2.5.
Oh, 2.5. Yeah, let's take the
Eagles
2.5
get
and
2 and
see.
hook. I like the Eagles. Let's
That
go
could be a
ahead.
big one. That could be really good. I hope it is.
Let's go with this. We got Michigan at. Let's get to the college. Michigan at Maryland. Maryland's getting 19 points.
Wait.
I almost didn't put this game on, but
that made me
Irish,
start laughing.
Irish Mike took Michigan.
Michigan is giving Maryland how much?
19. This is the highest point spread of the weekend variance. Just so you know.
Man. Okay, I'm gonna take hey, they gave Ohio State something for a while until they took off on them.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take Michigan.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I'll take Michigan too.
19 big ones. Man.
Okay, the next one's a lot better. Louisville at Miami. Miami is giving them 1 point. So Louisville gets 1 point on the road. This is noon ABC game. Louisville gets a point on the road in Miami. Louisville is the 9-1, Miami 6-4.
We just got Van Dyke back. I hate to go against Miami, but I'm gonna take Louisville.
Me too. Irish Mike took Miami.
Yeah, I mean
I'll take
tempted.
Louisville.
Yeah, I'm gonna take them.
Utah at Arizona, and Utah gets 1 point at Arizona.
I'm gonna take Utah. I'm gonna take Utah.
Okay, I'll take Arizona. Irish Mike's got Arizona too. Okay, let's move on to Georgia at Tennessee. This is a lot of wood. Tennessee's getting 10 points at home versus Georgia. Everybody thinks Tennessee's going to win this game.
We got a lot of people picking Tennessee to win it.
Well, Irish Mike took Georgia. I'm taking Georgia because I'll give the 10 points up. I think Georgia is starting to hit their gear. They came off. They just destroyed Ole Miss last week, 52-17.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Georgia.
Tennessee lost to Missouri 36-7. Maybe they'll rebound and give Georgia a game. I don't see it. The next one is Illinois at Iowa. And Iowa is giving Illinois 3 points. Iowa that never scores, but
Illinois against
Iowa. And Illinois gets 3 points. It's at Iowa. So it's a field goal. Illinois gets 3. I'll take Iowa.
I know. They're at home, right?
Yeah, Iowa's
They're
home.
both struggling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I take them. They just can't.
Iowa's going to win that West. They're like,
Yeah.
they're going to win that West because there's no one near them.
Yeah.
So they're
going to get boat race to whoever they play.
Yeah, whoever they play, it'd probably
Kill.
either Michigan or Ohio State, or
Yeah.
probably Michigan.
Yeah,
But
they're going to get killed.
you want Iowa?
Yeah, in that one.
Okay. North Carolina at Clemson. This is Clemson is actually, this is interesting because Clemson is actually giving Carolina 7 and a hook. They're at Clemson, which is always a interesting spot.
North Carolina. Oh, wait. That's with May, right?
Yep.
I'm taking them. They're getting 7.5.
Yeah, Carolina gets 7.5 at Clemson.
Oh, man. It's always tough, though, to play down in
Yeah,
Clemson,
it's always
though.
tough. I mean, they beat, Clemson beat Notre Dame there. Clemson's 6-4. Carolina's 8-2.
I know. This is a tough one. I'm going to take Carolina, though. 7.5. I'll try it.
Yeah, me too. I'll take the points in Carolina. Yeah. Kansas State at Kansas. No rival.
Man, that should be a good one, too.
9.5. This was at 9.5. No, now it's up to 10 even.
Kansas State giving Kansas.
Yeah, 10 points. Kansas, yeah. 10 points. So Kansas State gets 10 points.
You mean Kansas get 10 points?
No, other way. Kansas State gets 10 because it's Kansas State at Kansas, and Kansas State is getting 10 points. They're on the road against Kansas. I think yeah. So
sure. I thought I seen that earlier. Not today, but I thought I seen it was the other way. But
you know what? You're right. I'm wrong.
It's the Kansas State getting. Kansas
I
is getting
screwed
the
that
points,
up
right?
bad. Yeah. Kansas gets 10 points. Yeah. KSU, not Kansas. Yeah, it is. You're right.
Kansas getting the
Kansas State. Kansas gets 10 points.
Okay.
That's a lot of points.
It is
for a home team. They're both 7-3.
Kansas can score, but Kansas State is just more rugged. They can score too.
Irish Mike took Kansas State and laid the points.
I am too. Giving up the 10.
All right, I'll be the outlier. I'm going to go Kansas, and I'll take the home dog getting 10 points. This was big. Washington and Oregon State. Get this. Washington is getting 1 point. This is tonight at 7:30 ABC. Washington gets 1 point.
Yep. I'm taking.
They're 10-0, undefeated. Oregon State at Corvallis. That's always a tough place to play.
Yep. Sure is.
I'm
gonna go with the upset.
So you want Oregon State?
Yeah, I'm gonna take Oregon State.
Yeah, no. Irish Mike took Oregon State. Yeah, I'm kind of debating that out. Washington would be. This is a big game for them.
Oh yeah, it's big.
Because they lose, then they'll probably play Oregon again in the final. They're going to play Washington State
next week.
And then Oregon plays Oregon State next week.
Yep.
That's going to be
it's
big.
a tough weeks for both of them.
And Washington State blew out Colorado last night.
Yep.
I went to bed. That game was 42-10. No, 42-7 at half. The final was like 56-14 or something. So, but Washington State doesn't they have like 5. They're like 5-6 or whatever. But that's a dangerous team.
They got some good personnel on their team too.
Anyway, Oregon State. A lot of people are taking the Oregon State and laying the 1 point to Washington.
I'm taking Oregon State.
You're going to take Oregon State. I'm going to go the other way. I'm going Washington and win. Let's go to Texas at Iowa State, and Iowa State gets 7.5 at home.
Yeah, I'm taking Iowa State.
Yeah,
in the points. They're always dangerous.
I will. I'm going to do the Iowa State and the points because I agree with you. 7.5 is a lot of points, and I'll do that. So, yeah, we didn't agree all the way down the road. I'm
thinking about one.
I did a little. Yeah,
I'm thinking about
you and Irish Mike were pretty much dead straight on.
Did he take Arizona against Utah? I mean, he took Utah, didn't he? He took Utah against Arizona. That's one I've been thinking about.
He took Arizona. That one's you're different. And Louisville. Irish Mike took Miami. We both went Louisville. He took Arizona. And I went Arizona. You went Utah. We all took Georgia. We all took Iowa. We all took North Carolina.
I'm thinking about that Arizona game too, though.
Yeah, that one's either or. That's a tough one.
It's at Arizona, right?
What?
It's at Arizona.
Yes, -1. It's almost a pick'em game.
It's just that. Sometimes they play really good.
I know. Arizona's a hard read. They won last week. They beat Colorado 34-31. They struggled. I mean, they beat them, but it was. And then Utah lost to Washington last week 35-28.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave it like it is. I won't. Those are some tough, tight ones though. They're very tight.
Yeah, all these college games. The game I did not put on is USC and UCLA.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's today at 3:30.
That's today at 3:30 ABC.
Another game that might be interesting is I've seen it. They showed it. Florida and Missouri, I think it is.
Yeah, that was also on this, and I chose I was debating about putting that one on or not.
I don't know the point spread, but I've seen them talking about that game.
The point spread on that was Missouri 11 points. Missouri laying 11 points to Florida. Florida's 5-5. Missouri 8-2. Missouri.
I've been impressed with them. Missouri.
They had a big win last week,
and that's why I picked them against Tennessee.
They blew them out.
Yeah,
too.
I said I'm gonna take them. They just playing well, and then they were home. I said, yeah.
Yeah, Missouri actually they're 8-2. They're playing pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the UCLA USC game. That was an interesting game because I think USC was laying about how many points were they laying on that game? Oh man. Anyway, let's see. Well, it's not coming up anyway. Oh, here it is. There it is. Yeah, 5 points. USC was laying 5 points. It's at USC. So they're playing in the Coliseum.
Right.
It was a 5 point. I didn't put it up there, but UCLA's getting 5 points. Supposedly Chip Kelly's going to get fired at the end of the season, is what they're saying.
Yeah. Right.
And then Lincoln Riley, who knows? Right now, Lincoln Riley's record isn't even as good as the old coach.
Oh yeah, they have it for him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
Sarkisian.
Who came after Sarkisian? Because he went to Texas. I forgot who it was.
Let's see. It was what was his name? It was what was his Lincoln Riley? Who did he take? Who was the guy?
He's been there 3 years now, I guess.
Yeah, Lincoln Riley's into his third year, and a lot of the sad part is he's really not done really much better than the other coaches. Like, I think that's probably the whole situation with USC is when you look at their coaches. Oh, Clay Helton. Clay Helton record at USC was 46-24. So he was actually a pretty good coach there.
Mm-hmm.
But his record right now, and if you look at Lincoln Riley, and they paid Lincoln Riley a lot of money to come in, and actually you can make the argument that the program has even fell back from his first year.
Yeah. One of the things that get me is that the fact that he came in, he does get recruits like at the skill positions.
Right, but the defense,
but he hasn't did anything for defensive line, offensive line.
No.
That's where you win football games. That people might not want to think it, but that's where it starts. On your line of scrimmage on both sides. And he hasn't done a good job of that at all.
He's struggled.
At all. And that's why they lose. I mean,
no, that's the reason why. I mean, right.
They do win because of Caleb. I mean, I'm just going to be honest. But that's if he can stay upright because he's running all the time. He's scrambling, he improvises, make plays that way. But that's not healthy for any quarterback. All the time to be putting that much stress.
Pressure on him.
He has too much.
Well, here's the question I have. If Caleb Williams leaves USC after this year, which he probably will, if Lincoln Riley's the head coach next year, what's this team going to look like?
Yeah, I don't know. If they don't get no line, they're not going to look good at all.
And they won't have Caleb Williams bailing them out.
Nope. You better do some kind of recruiting job to get one top quarterback.
But still, you're not going to get a Caleb Williams to come there every year.
Yeah, you're not going to get
Williams
one of them.
Is an outlier.
Yeah, you're not going to get them, period.
No.
Types like that.
So, and Caleb Williams has realistically put this team on his back and won the games.
And should have been in a position somewhere to be in that Final Four chance.
Yeah.
He should be on a team where he has that chance to be in that limelight. Not just win the Heisman, but in a big game like that.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know. It'll be interesting. It's going to be a great week. And